our 12 pipe cleaners in. Okay, so now we are gonna start cutting. We can put this away because we're gonna start cutting our mesh. Okay, this is the mesh that we're gonna be using. It's a deco poly mesh. I absolutely love this kind of mesh. It's a 10-inch mesh. Use my mat to measure, and I have a rotary blade, and that's what I use to cut my mesh over. Okay, so these particular wreath, I want to cut it at 22 inches. Okay, let me bring the camera higher a little bit so you guys can see. There you go, guys. That way you see the measurements. Okay, and we're gonna need 12 of these. You're going to 22 pieces. I'm sorry, you're going to 12 pieces of 22 pieces. Come on. I have 5 so far. You can have a you can use scissors. Some of you also use a wood burning tool. They make sure it's great. Running like 5 relay, and the placement of the mesh also helps with the frame. Okay. So once you start, you have to use a wood burning tool. I will definitely recommend you to get use a mat because the mat's not cheap. And you have your mat. Okay. So please be careful and get one of those glass cardboards. That those are very okay. Like two more cuts. I absolutely love these deco mesh. I think it's so pretty. And it looks so beautiful when you're working with naturals on reds. Let me put this away, and I'm gonna bring one that is a shade of sage green that I think is gonna look adorable with this. Okay, so this is the shade of green that I want to use. Remember, we're doing apples, so the apples that I'm gonna be adding are going to have the leaves. Because in addition to the apple pie, I'm going to be adding these apples, and they have the leaves. So I want to bring the green into the wreath, okay? So I am going to be making rolls of this. So I only need this specific one to be 10 inches long. So we're going to be cutting 12 pieces of 10 inches long. So I'm cutting 2 out of each placement of my mesh over my mat. So I got to 10 inches and cut, and then cut again at 20 inches. And I like to put them all together, okay? Again, 10 inches and 20. So 6 more. This will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need 2 more. Okay. So done cutting mesh. So let's start working on our wreath, attaching our mesh to it, okay? So the very first mesh that we're gonna be putting is the outer ring, okay? And we're gonna be using this color first, okay? So I am going to, let me show you. We're gonna be using the croffle method. I don't know who come up with these names. Obviously, it's not me. But they are going over the wreath business for a long time, okay? So in this case, the croffle method is just, we're gonna be rolling. So I like to kind of fold it and hold it with my fingers, and I roll again, and I roll again. So I make 3 simple rolls. It's kind of small. And then what I do, I like to hold it with my ribbon tail cutter. Not necessary, but great tool to have. if you decide that you're going to be doing a lot of wreath, okay? So what I do is I pinch it with my fingers, pinch that roll with my fingers, and I go gathering, walking and gathering, walking and gathering, walking and gathering. Well, when you get to the end, you're going to repeat the process. Hold it or fold it, roll it 3 times, and gather it with the other side, okay? This is the way I do it, okay? And in this case, I want it to be really full. I want to put the rolls facing up. Not like this. That's facing down, okay? I want to do it facing up. With these specific wreath. So we'll go to the pipe cleaners. So you can see it here better. So I'll go with the pipe cleaner that I'm going to be using. I spread both of the pipe cleaners out. I place it right in the middle, and I cross my pipe cleaner and I press tight 2, 3. And that's how I like to place mine, okay? So I'm going to go around and I'm going to do all 6 on the first layer. Let me show you another way of doing it by using a clip, okay? Using a clip, and it might be easier if you're starting. I'm used to it and I don't normally use them, but it might be easier if you're starting. So again, you can get a clothespin. These are just the pins that you can buy at the dollar store. I have other ones that are bigger that are normally used for gardening. And I really like those. I just don't have them in these drawers. So, but this is what I have accessible. This is what we're going to be using. So we're going to fold it probably about 1 inch going up. And then we're going to keep rolling 2, 3 times, and then we're going to put our clip right there to hold our curl. And we're going to turn it around, and we're going to do the same thing on this side without putting a clip on it, because now we want to walk it out, okay? So 1 inch, 2 rolls, 3 rolls, and now we're just walking up, okay? So pinch it in the center and go ahead and walk it. Walk it and gather, walk and gather right in the center of the mesh. Once you get to the pin, remove the pin and hold that curl. So that might be easier, okay, if you have the curls, if you have the pins available. Now we're gonna come to the pipe cleaner. We're gonna spread those 2 sides of the pipe cleaner. Put it right there, tight it, pull and tight, don't be afraid, okay? Pull and tight. You want to make sure that those mesh are tight and secure. So this is a matter of repeating the steps, guys. And we got to do it 12 times. So 1 inch up, fold, fold, pinch it. 1 inch up, fold, fold, and always walk out right in the middle. Right in the middle. Get it again, just hold tight. Come to your reform. Spread those 2. Tie it and twist. How many times you twist? It's up to you. Whatever you feel it makes it secure, okay? Normally I like to do 3. And we're going to kind of move around, but I'm able to show you so you guys see it. Again, 1 inch, fold, fold, pinch. Sorry, 1 inch, fold, fold. 1 inch, fold, fold. And now let's walk. Does that have to be perfect? No, absolutely not. Right? But we want to make it balanced, right? We want to stay right in the center as much as we can. Place it, bring place, tight. While you push out with your fingers, so it doesn't come out of the reform. You push down, you twist and turn. So 2 more of that, and then we're going to be moving to the right, okay? So like, pause it for you, so you guys don't do repetitive things. You've seen 4 already. I'm going to finish 2 and then I'll go back. Okay, guys, so I finish all 6 of the outer ring, okay? Now we're going to put the green on top. So let's move it to the side and let's do the greens. So what I do with the greens, since they're only 10 inches, I like to roll them. So we're just gonna make curls, okay? So again, 1 inch, fold, fold, and you're gonna keep rolling all the way to the end, all the way to the end. And then you're gonna gather in the center and pinch. And you're gonna make 2 rolls like this, okay? And that's gonna be more than plenty because we're gonna be adding some ribbon tails to it. So we're gonna come to our wreath. I'm gonna untwist the pipe cleaners, not completely, but untwisted. Since I twisted 3 times, I'm gonna untwist 2. And that's how I'm gonna put it, okay? Repeat the process 7 more times. So again, so you guys can see it. Let me hold this so it's it shows a little more. Fold 1 inch, roll, roll, and just keep rolling until you get to the end. That seam that you have of the upper part coming, make sure that it goes down, and then you gather and pinch the center. Come to your wreath, untwist 2 times, put it right in the center, and twist again. And put them different ways, okay? Let's repeat it again 5 more times. Let me do 1 more for you so you guys can review the process, and then I'll go move forward. 1 inch up, fold, fold, and keep rolling up until you get to the end. These that come out, I like to cut. I don't like seeing that on my wreath. And then I pinch, untwist 2 times, and twist again. Okay? Okay, so each time, since we finish all of the first outer row, it's time to put our ribbon in, so we don't have to struggle when we're gonna do the upper or the inner rings, okay? So we need to cut our ribbons. In this case, I'm gonna be using 4 different kinds of ribbons for my ribbon tail. And I'm gonna put them in pairs, right? Okay, so now we're gonna be cutting 6, let me move the camera again so you can see the, sorry guys, so you can see my numbers, okay? We're gonna be cutting tails that are 14 inches long. So that will be 14 inches. Of course, you guys can cut them with your scissors, okay, at the distance that you need. I either use tails that are 13, 14, or 15. Those are my measurements when I do my wreaths. But I have my tails, oh, these are the 13, so I'm going to be using 14. Let me change this one. These is my ribbon tail cutters, and I love using them. I can measure and cut the ribbon multiple times without having to be making multiple cuts, so it saves me time. So now I have 4, 5, and 6. Since I'm gonna be using 4 different ribbons, I'm gonna be making 6 tails of each color. So once I have them measured, see, they remove with ease, and I can cut them all at once. Now I make sure they're aligned, and I dovetail them at the end. Okay, so now I'm going to take my second ribbon, which is going to be the burlap. And again, I'm going to measure 14 inches. Like I said, if you guys don't have a ribbon tail cutter, or I don't know how she calls this. I call it my ribbon tail template. So it's just 4, 5, 6. You can definitely use scissors. It will be the same thing. It's not that I'm lazy. It's just that it works. I work faster that way. For the sake of the video, I'm showing them to you slowly, but normally I do this pretty quick. So this is a thicker ribbon, so I have to use only 3 when I'm dovetailing them. So for dovetailing, if you guys don't know how to do them, you guys take your ribbon or your ribbons, however you have, how many you have, and then you're gonna fold it like my teacher used to say, hot dog style instead of hamburger style. So hot dog style, so you fold it in half and then you dovetail it, which is from the side that you fold to your edges diagonally, okay? And they end up pretty like that. So I'm cutting 3 at a time. At a time, and then I have my 6. Same thing with this gingham, this pretty gingham. I love this with apples. It is so picnicky and so refreshing, and when I think of apples, I think of gingham. So 6 tails of 14 inches. Dovetail them. Dovetail them. That's my third ribbon. And then my last ribbon is going to be the touch of green. Put all of this in my trash can. Okay. So, for you guys to see it, I'm going to cut this one. One of them, I'm going to cut it with a scissors so you guys know I'm going from 10 to 24 inches. That is my 14 inches. And I just proceed to make the cut. And I have one like that. Now, this ribbon, I'm not going to dovetail it because it doesn't look good with dovetailing. I'm just going to leave it like it is. I can go diagonal. I think that will look prettier. But that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing with this one. Okay. So again, we need 6 14-inch of the green as well. And since I already have one, I only need to cut 5. I love this ribbon. It looks so beautiful. So beautiful. We have all our ribbon from top and bottom, both. We're only going to be using 6 combos, okay? So I want to put together my gingham and my burlap, kind of resembling this mesh, okay? And then I'm gonna put my gingham with a burlap stripe with my green. That's gonna be the combination of the second pair. So what I will do, we're gonna go and add our ribbons to each one of our pipe cleaner combo with mesh, okay? But I don't want them to go all the same. I want to match them. Now I'm gonna put them one and one on top of the other, right? I'm gonna fold it and press, okay? And I'm gonna repeat the same thing with all of them. Put it one on top of the other, fold them and press. One on top of the other, fold them and press. Why? Because that fold and press that we're doing, first we're prepping. So we're getting all of our tails ready. So when we start putting them, they're already ready to go, set for us, okay? So all of these you can do even before putting, you can do all your mesh cutting and get that out of the way. And then you can do all of your ribbon cutting and matching your pairs of ribbon how you want them. And let them and get them all ready and press like that for you. Put them to the side and do the same thing with the other combination in this case, because I'm using 4 different ribbons, okay? So, and that is easier to do. Well, I cannot do this one because it's going to be different. I can fold this. I want this, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to fold this. Just folding the gingham on this time, because I want to do a different style. Now make sure they're the right way in. So this one, if you notice it, let me show you. The right way is the thick part of the ribbon coming out, not the other way around, okay? So this will be the back of the ribbon. So you want both good sides touching each other, okay? The reason why I'm using just this one and not adding the green is because for the green, I want to fold it, but not to crease it, just to pinch like 1.5 inches down, like 1.5 inches down, and then making a loop like that, kind of like those sympathy ribbons that we see. That's how I want it. So this is gonna be my first. So now I go back and open it, and right where I crease it, I pinch and gather. And then I fold it like this. And my green goes one on top of the other, like so. Like so. Okay? And we open, untwist 2 times. Hold and twist. And since we are done right here with the green, we can just go ahead and cut it, because that's all we're gonna be doing with this chenille stem. Where's my Let me see, where's my little wire cutter? So my little wire cutter, I just come and cut that chenille. And we're only gonna cut the chenilles on the greens. Only on the greens, okay? Only on the ones that we add green. So this one is green and the gingham and burlap together. We're gonna move to the next one, and we're gonna use the different combo. So that's gonna be the burlap and the 1.5 inch gingham. We're gonna open it, and when we crease, we're gonna pinch and gather. Okay, so we're gonna have it like this. We're gonna bring it down like that, and that's where we're gonna be putting it. On twist 2 times, put it right in the center, push down and twist. And we're not gonna cut it. We're not gonna cut that one because we're gonna come and use it again, and I'm gonna show you how and why. It's gonna be so pretty, so adorable. Okay, I like kind of spreading them 1 1 1 1. Okay, that's what I like to do. Now we use the burlap here. We're gonna use the gingham and green in here. So again, gingham and green. Fold it in half. Kind of 1.5 inch cinch and pleat, and spread those 2 tails, and then we're gonna pinch and gather the center. We put it just like this. Right on top, push and twist. Once we have it like this, I don't like to leave mine. The only way I will leave them is if the chenille stem I'm talking about, I don't like to leave them. The only way I leave them is if I'm using a regular wreath form. That's how I leave them. So look how pretty that looks. Now we're doing a different kind again, burlap and gingham. And now we come and we fix our ribbons. Okay? So look how pretty it's looking. Now again, the green, tightly. Twist tightly. And we're done with this one. And then our last one, it's going to be the burlap and gingham. On twist, put it in, push it in, and twist again, and do not cut this one right now. Now, why did I say not to cut it? Because I want to add a small bow, a small, very simple bow to each one of those, because I think it's gonna look super, super cute. So we're gonna go with the same ribbon, the same gingham ribbon, and I'm going to take that part of the end of the ribbon, I'm going to dovetail that part right there. I'm gonna measure 6 inches from 10 to 16. I'm gonna pinch and gather, right? Pinch and gather. And then I'm going to twist, measure 6 inches, pinch, gather, bring it to the center, to the same pinch that you already have. Measure 6 inches again. Measure 6 inches again, pinch and gather, bring it to the center. We're going to measure, make sure that both of our loops are the same length. And we're going to measure 6 inches, cut. And now we're going to go on top of the ones that have the plain burlap and the gingham. Untwist 2 times and put that bow right on top of the ribbon tails that you already have. And now you can cut. Now we fix that bow. We dovetail that other end, and look how adorable that bow looks in there. Isn't that stinking adorable? I absolutely love that. So we're gonna repeat it 2 more times, okay? Let me show you how to do that bow again. We take that end, fold it, cut it, dovetail it, measure 6 inches, pinch, gather. We got it in a pinch right here. We're gonna take the other side of the ribbon. Let me move my wreath so you guys can see it. We have it in a pinch right here, right? Now, the part that we have the whole ribbon, we're gonna grab it and twist. Now we're gonna measure those 6 inches again. 6 inches, bring it in or towards you, and gather and pinch. The rest of the ribbon, we're gonna again twist. Measure 10 inches, pinch and gather, bring it in to the other side. So you're gonna spin around your bow so it's easier to see. Make sure that both loops are the same. Measure 6 inches for the other tail and cut. And now you have your simple bow. Okay? And we're gonna put it, on twist 2. Put it where the ribbon with the burlap and the gingham, plain burlap and gingham, twist. Now you can cut. And I like to push it back. I like to push back my pipe cleaners so they don't poke, they're not seen. Now we're going to fix that bow, make it pretty and bounceful. Fix those tails, remember? 2 fingers, like a flat iron, and run it through that ribbon. That's how you fix your bows and your ribbon. It is wired ribbon. It will look good for years, okay? Especially if it's good quality ribbon. But look how adorable these looks. It is simply beautiful. So we're gonna do the last one, and then we're gonna proceed with the rest of the wreath, okay? And curl that pipe cleaner so it doesn't poke nobody. That's the bow, and that's how pretty it looks. We're going to be moving to the inner loop, inner ring of our wreath. Okay, so let's do part 2. See you in part 2.